It always makes me laugh when someone asks me to take their picture or to buy something when I'm filming, because it makes me wonder who they think I'm talking to at that time. Kind of a bizarre outcome. Anyway, these are the gates to McGill University. And very often in the last decade at least, McGill, in terms of global rankings, is the top university in Canada. And I do know from when I was teaching in South Korea that this name had some clout in terms of hiring. For a few years in a row, it was ranked number 18 by Times Higher Education. And to Americans watching, if you don't know about it, it's considered an extraordinary value, because once again, Quebec tuition is lower not only than elsewhere in Canada, but often beats in-state tuition in the US. And I think it's quite old in addition to that. There's a rivalry between here and Concordia University, which I'm told by locals that Concordia used to be the Plan B university, but now it's a pretty strong rising competitor. It's considered the most left-wing university in Canada, and I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me that the flag atop the building straight ahead says KKK. I find there's a lot of naivete about things like that in Canada sometimes, because people don't have as much of, they're not as versed on dark matters, I guess. A less politically heated environment, I guess, although in Quebec, with the issue of separation, that's a totally different ballgame that affected a lot of people. And so this is a pedestrian and bike-only zone for the most part. I'm told there's a public library in here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. And in a few days, there will be quite a few graduation ceremonies taking place in these lawns. So hopefully the weather will cooperate for them. But as of now, I think it's ranked around number 30 in the world. Though I can attest, I watched my own graduate university go from number 40 at the time I applied to number 32, and then number 30, and then number 22 this year. And nothing against my peers or the alumni there now, but I really don't see that unless groupthink is a factor in that, weighed positively, favorably. I've had a couple of good friends come to school here, and they haven't said a whole lot about it, actually. engineering building. And we'll approach this last building over here. Something I've learned that's on my mind during this very long tour of basically the West is that I think almost everybody is good and I like almost everybody, but there's a lot to be said for controlling your own destiny. And also, this is called the Moise Hall, but I have no idea what its function is. Very Greco-Roman inspired. There's a lot to be said for your autonomy, and a phrase that keeps going through my mind but applied differently is supply side economics. And what I mean by this is everybody has got to have a base and stamp their name on it, because when you're on the move, basically the people who really dominate this planet have semi-effective alliances and own their turf. And they arrange things so that other people have to go through them in order to live somehow. That sounds really dark, and it is. But it doesn't have to be, if you know what I'm saying. I find that people who own infrastructure, who rent their property, who stay planted, end up having quite a bit of a leg up on things. And if you are the one visiting, passing through, somehow, if you have any kind of normal way of trying to compensate people for their good deeds, you're going to end up losing something, or being undervalued. And I'm not saying that it's really happened to me explicitly, but I can definitely identify the potential for that. And I've started consistently praying, when I do pray, that this kind of advantage is growing in likelihood for everybody. I really think that it's a very big task, but I would like to see everybody praying and working towards, when they set their goals for their own advancement, to also ask for the general advancement of all around us. If that doesn't sound too both esoteric and lofty. I can't speak for others, but I can't really enjoy success the same way if I know that others around me will not be able to experience some kind of lift from that as a result. Second of all, at the same time, I'm not willing to be a passive receiver or participant in just this general consumer environment. And I'm not prepared to lose. I hope you aren't either. And by that I mean, don't just think that you have no chance of getting somewhere in life and just drink or smoke your way out of it. Try to form some good alliances, identify the people around you who are good, and start working from there. Now, the statue that's here is of McGill, the historical figure. And I'll just read this placard really quickly. Sorry.
That's fine, that's fine.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead.
And if you want to know more, you can go to Wikipedia. Thanks, bye.